Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to check out Hedera's price chart. And in the short term, I think I'm able to identify some optimistic signs suggesting maybe in the next couple of days we are going to have a decent move up. So, are you ready? Let's start today's update by talking about what is going on in the mid to long term structure. And if you want to be pessimistic in HBAR, you know what? Fair enough, more power to you. I absolutely understand that. And based on that, you can actually argue maybe from the highest high in here back in the 2021 bull run, we completed a beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down, followed by a correction up. And well, this is a bearish setup suggesting at best, maybe we are having 5 down into a correction for wave B. And what's next? Maybe another move down into wave C in order to take the loss down here about, let's say, 3.7 cents. Now, is this a possibility? The answer is yes. Is it likely though? Right now, at least, I'm going to tell you no. Why? Because for now, I don't really have enough evidence suggesting this bearish scenario is absolutely going to play out. Here is actually what's going on in my mind for the next, I'm going to say probably 3 to 4 months. You see, one way or the other, I do think in HBAR and probably for that matter in a lot of other altcoins, we are going to see some moves on the upside, and I am actually going to pay full attention to the shape of our move that we are going to get in Hedera. Okay, this is going to be, in my view, the real key. If we get a very slow and choppy move up with like a lot of overlapping of the waves between our pullbacks, okay, that's gonna be like a really bad sign suggesting, you know what, maybe we're not going to actually set an all-time high and take the highest high about, let's say, 55 cents, and maybe from these areas we are going to enter a decent bear market. On the other hand, if in our initial move on the upside we end up having a beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave impulsive structure in order to especially take this important high around, let's say, 38 cents, you know what, that's going to be an awesome sign suggesting in Hedera most likely the bull run is still alive and we are going to continue our move and take the all-time high. For now, one way or the other, bullish or bearish, I think it is safe to assume that we are going to have a decent move up in the next couple of months. But before we identify the shape of it, let's just take everything step by step and see what might be the next likely move. And based on that, let's go on some lower time frames. So in my view, in Hedera, in this absolutely insane liquidation event, which, by the way, in case you don't know, this was literally the biggest liquidation event in the history of the crypto market. I think in Hedera we have hit our final low down around these areas about, let's say, 12.2 cents. Now, if you go on different charts of Hedera from different exchanges, you realize that the shadows are actually quite different. For instance, this is from TradingView and the lowest low in here is about, let's say, 8.5 cents. How about Binance? There we go. The lowest low is all the way down here about 8 cents area. And if especially you go maybe on USDT pair, I think we do have like a larger shadow, right? There we go. The lowest low in here is about 7.2 cents. Now, sometimes we have better looking charts. For instance, I think it was on Coinbase. Yeah, you see, in Coinbase, the lowest low is just about 10 cents area. So again, on each exchange, we do have different shadows. And that, in my view, is because I think probably the liquidation events that we got was actually as a result of absolute manipulation. So this is going to be, at least in my opinion, one of those cases where I don't really think there's like a necessary need for Hedera or a lot of other altcoins for that matter to go down and fill the gaps that we got as a result of the following bounce back after this massive move down happening a bit too fast. I'm not really going to count on those moves on the downside. If we get it, okay, fair enough. Maybe I am going to open some long positions, but my base case is that, yeah, we are not going to get those moves on the downside. And these prices, at least I'm going to say until the end of this cycle, are pretty much gone. Now, let's zoom in more and see what is going on in this area. And if you remember the last time that we talked about HBAR, we were right in here. And the idea was that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up off of the lows, which is a good sign suggesting the bottom is in. And the following move hopefully is going to be in form of an ABC zigzag, which in terms of the sub waves, let's go around here. Okay, what just happened? Let's just take the object again. we must have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down into a correction for wave B. We can have different patterns. Let's say in this instance, maybe a WXY, honestly doesn't really matter. And then another 5 down into C. And based on this, we were saying, well, okay, for our C leg in H bar, we can assume this is 1, this is 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down into wave 3. And I was like, well, okay, maybe the current move up is just a correction for 4, and we can have another move down into wave 5. And as you can see, we didn't really get that move on the downside. And to me, this is absolutely bizarre. And I'm telling you right now, I am completely stumbled with this structure. I don't really know how to get the subwaves to work. And I guess the best thing that I can show you is probably a WXY in form of a double zigzag. And this can be, excuse me, our second A, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down into C. And in like very short term, this is exactly how this structure looks unbelievable. This is like a 5 down into a correction for wave B, maybe like an ABC running flat, and then another teeny tiny small move down into our C leg. And these can be the subwaves for, again, you know it, a WXY in form of a double zigzag, the bottom is. I'll be honest with you, I did not have something like this happening in H-bar in my bingo card, and the structures back around these areas were so clear to me, indicating we're going to get a move down. But this is another example of market teaching you a very solid lesson, which is don't be too cocky, don't be proud of yourself. Odds are you are going to, let's say, maybe 6 out of 10 times, and there will be absolutely at least 4 out of 10 times that you are going to get it wrong. So, you know, get us over with. It's not really that much of a big deal. Now, the question is, what is going on in this area in Hedera? Now, in my view, there is actually a good argument to be made for Hedera to go up either from the current point or maybe like a bit lower in order to at least take this important high about 18.2 cents. Essentially, we can have something like a 10 to 15% move on the upside. Why? Because if you want to say maybe I am wrong and we are having a decent continuation of the move down, then okay, from the recent high in Hedera, you have to be able to find a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, if I just go on the live chart, by the way, this is on 15-minute time frame, so you know we really are doing some short-term analysis, but you know it's fine. I think there is a very solid argument to be made for this move down to be in form of, you know what, an ABC zigzag, which sort of kind of got confirmed when in this phase up in Hedera by like a very small margin. We took the height of our beat. So what does that mean? I'm going to say this is a correction down, and there is actually a chance, although I understand it doesn't necessarily look like it, but I am able to find the subwaves for a 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into wave 3, ABC for 4, followed by another move up into wave 5. And as you can see, we don't even have overlapping of the waves between our supposedly wave 4 and 2. So maybe this is an impulse followed by a correction down. And overall, this suggests you may have a bullish setup in here. Now, if you really want to be optimistic and you want to test your luck, you can say this point is the end of this red wave 2, and the following move is just a bullish setup for a massive extension, and it can be a 1 correction for 2, and what's next? Again, a strong move up into wave 3, 4, 5, which in this phase into our wave 3, again, not only we are going to take the highs, but also there's a good chance that we are also going to take the highest high in here as well, about, let's say, 20 cents area. Generally, I do expect Hedera, and for that matter, a lot of other altcoins as well, to just recover from all this recent madness, and at least in the short term, get back to about the beginning of the crashing hour price-wise, which is, in case of Hedera, somewhere around 21.5 cents area. Now, if this scenario is happening, then okay, this yellow 5 wave up is going to be into wave 3, followed by a correction for 4, and then we're going to have another move up into wave 5. And I'm honestly not sure whether after this red 5 wave down, we are going to get into, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks of consolidation. Maybe this is going to be like another great move on the upside, and we're just going to have, I don't know, maybe like a 1, 2, followed by another 1 and 2, another 1 and 2, meaning we are going to get in an extremely strong extension. That is also a chance, but you know, let's just take everything step by step. Let's not really get our hopes up that much, and I fully understand that talking about a 1-2 series when the prices are down big time in a lot of altcoins is a bit annoying. So, let's just keep ourselves on the ground and count on at least another move on the upside. Now, every analyst at any given moment, in the interest of being objective, should be able to come up with a bullish and also a bearish count at the same time. And so far, we talked about the bullish case. The question is there actually a bearish count suggesting in Hedera we are going to get a move down? The answer is yes, there is a bit of a bearish count, but I'm not really sure whether that should be my primary case, because you see, the bearish scenario suggests that in Hedera we are having maybe off of the lowest low and A, B, C, D, E, excuse me, I think I just took the wrong object, there we go, and A, B, C, D, E, a triangle structure, and then we are going to have another move down. And even according to this scenario, in this phase, we are not going to, in Hedera, go down and take the lowest low down here about 10 cents area. No, odds are this last leg is going to get truncated, and then we can reach, I guess, to somewhere around, let's say, 13 to 15 cents region, and then we are going to have a very strong bounce back. And the reason that this count is not really my favorite is quite simple. Actually, I don't really think we have the proper subways for it, especially when it comes to this move down from the highs to about the lows. Find me an ABC zigzag in here, and at that point maybe I should be bearish a little bit. As long as I'm not proven otherwise though, I'm gonna say, you know what, this is 5-wave up, this is correction down. This could be a 5-wave up followed by another correction down, and in the short term, at least in the next couple of days, meaning I am counting on yet another move on the upside. And my invalidation point for this bullish case is going to be taking this important low right in here about, let's say, 16.3 cents. Why? Because in my view, there is a very high chance this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave up. This is also another 5-wave on the upside. So if we end up getting a move down and take the lows, okay, at that point, these are just going to be simple sell waves for a beautiful ABC zigzag, not an impulse, indicating, yeah, unfortunately, our move down is going to continue. So as long as we are not taking the lows, let's count on another good move up in Hedera. And then in the next video, we are going to talk about the possible next moves. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in HBAR. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.